can a standardized test evaluate the intellectual ability of every student? If every student/person is different, then how can just one style of test accurately evaluate every type of student? It can't, and because of this, students are receiving low standardized test scores and are apprehensive about attending college or even furthering their education at all. It is important that we understand why students' full intellectual ability cannot be adequately tested with these exams. This is why I'm here today, to explain to you why standardized tests cannot be a real indication of a student's full intellectual ability and what we can do to develop a better method of assessment. Let's begin with explaining what a standardized test is and what type of standardized tests are frequently used in the U.S. for college students. Standardized tests are tests that require all test takers to answer the same questions, and then answers are scored in a consistent manner in order to compare a relative performance of all test takers. The two most common standardized tests used in the U.S. are the ACT, American College Test, and the SAT, Scholastic Aptitude Test. There are 3 sections to the SAT and 4 to the ACT. Each section of the SAT has the highest possible score of 800, which could equal up to a perfect score of 2400. These sections are writing, mathematics, and comprehension, while the ACT sections are English, reading, mathematics, and science. Averages from each section of the ACT from the 1.6 million test takers in 2013 were 488 writing, 514 math, and 496 comprehension. Only 43% of test takers who received these scores or higher on each section were considered college ready, according to the Daily Californian. In 2014, the score averages from almost 1.7 million test takers were 497 comprehension, 513 math, and 487 writing. Between 2013 and 2014, there was only a 1% difference in math, writing, and comprehension. These statistics alone begin to prove my point. In 2014, the ACT national-wide average scores for 1.8 million test takers was 20.3 English, 20.9 math, 21.3 reading, and 20.8 science. When comparing the 2013 averages to 2014, you see a 1% increase in science, a 1% decrease in math, and no increase or decrease in writing and English. These scores are not benefiting for over half of the students who are taking these standardized tests. These tests are supposed to rate a student on how well they should do in college. If that were true, then over half of our students would be failing, myself included, and that's not the case. Many students don't plan on attending college because they didn't take one of these exams because of anxiety, or they did take one, if not both, and didn't score high enough. Anxiety tends to play a big part when talking about standardized testings, or any exam for that matter. When you have anxiety, you either forget all you've studied once you start the test, freak yourself out so much that you second guess yourself throughout the whole test, or you're just freaked out so bad that you couldn't even make it to the test. The American Test Anxieties Association states that about 16 to 20% of students have high test anxieties, the other 18% moderate test anxiety. In the end, some students can have a photographic memory, some have anxiety, some do better hands-on, or some are just simply good test takers or guessers. One thing standardized tests can't do is judge how willing a student is to learn or how they can apply their knowledge in everyday life situations. Everyone absorbs and uses their knowledge differently, so how can we compare everyone to this one style of test? In order to reach every student, we can develop several different assessments and combine them into one. Some of the assessments could include presentations, performances, or reports. We must put this group of styles together in order to make one assessment that will be able to evaluate every student's full intellectual ability, not just some of it. Students typically don't do well just on one style of testing because they don't reach all the different aspects that make a person unique. With these new assessments put into place, we can evaluate each student as a whole. They can be designed to test a student's academic standings as well as their creativity and social performance level. New assessments will better prepare students for college and career world. You will be able to tell how well they put into place their knowledge on paper as well in real life. These changes in assessment could also lower stress and anxiety levels for students because they should be confident in what they enjoy to do and are good at because it comes natural to them. As you can see, these standardized tests do not evaluate a student's full intellectual ability. And in order to get these assessments modified, we must make people aware. If you can make it aware for everyone, why it is important we change these assessments, then we can hope for a better future and truly have no child left behind.